You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
If you enjoy this podcast, it would mean so much to us if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to do these tiny things.
First, can you please follow or subscribe to Self Care Club?
Following the pod helps you because you'll never miss an episode, and it helps us because you'll never miss an episode.
So to do this, just go to the Self Care Club show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow.
This is the most important thing for the pod. And while you're there, if you'd be willing to give us a 5-star review, we would be so grateful.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Laura Mishkon, and welcome to your Midweek Meltdown. It's Wednesday. That means we take a listener question and we attempt to help resolve it for you.
I've got a great one for you today.
Go on.
We went out tonight with another couple we've been friends with for about 2 years. We get on very well. My husband is in a cycling club with the other husband. Last night, we had a meal in a pub where a live band was playing. The wife went to the loo, and at the same time my husband got up to watch the band, the other husband started talking to me in a different way. I honestly can't figure out in my head what it was, but it got a bit weird. Direct eye contact, literally staring at me. He leaned in and then said, wait for it, Lauren, I definitely would.
No.
Then my husband and the friend's wife came back to the table and it was like nothing happened. Saying goodbye at the end of the night, we all gave each other a hug, but this hug was different. Again, I can't quite figure out why. I mean...
I think you can. I think you can figure out why at this point.
Anyway, when we got home, he texted me saying...
Saying what?
So now what? Question mark.
No!
This guy...
So now what?
Hold on. I can't believe this! Exclamation mark, she says. I've never, ever given him a reason to do this. His wife is lovely and he is my husband's mate. I have no interest in pursuing this and I feel sick. What do I do? We were all talking about going away together later this year.
Wow.
Has this ever happened to you?
Yes. More than once.
Wow.
3 times, actually.
3, what? Your husband's friend has come on to you three
Not
different...
my husband's friends, no, but other people's husbands. Has it happened to you?
Yeah. And it's actually horrible.
So my first initial thing that I want to say is screenshot the message, because just screenshot the message so you've always got it. So if he deletes it or whatever, or this comes out or anything else happens in the future, you have evidence.
Well, she's already got the evidence. Just keep the message.
Yeah. But also tell your husband, like immediately tell him and show him the message, and then ask him what he thinks the best thing you should do is. Do you reply? Do you write one together? Does your husband reply? Do you go out for dinner with them again? Do you go on holiday with them and wife swap?
But can we just take it back a notch, right? But just slightly before what she should do, all of those things I completely agree with, by the way. What gives the audacity of this man to think that it is okay and appropriate to come on to her whilst they nip away for 5 minutes when she's given him absolutely no reason? It is not okay.
In my experience, you don't need to give them any reason, because I would say I have never given anyone reason to do that. And I actually think, A, it's arrogance, and B, it's a numbers game. It's like, I don't think I'm the only person they've done that to, and I would be damn sure that she's not the only person that this guy has done it to either.
That makes it even worse in a way, because it's so humiliating. Because I remember when it happened to me, I felt totally humiliated, and it took me a full 24 hours to tell my husband, because I thought it was something that I had done, or that I had, honestly, because I was wearing this backless dress, and my first thought was, I shouldn't have worn the dress.
So you've slut-shamed yourself there. Well done.
Yeah, not
What?
okay. And then after it happened, we were at a party, and then obviously I just wanted to go home. And I pretended I didn't feel well. And I said to my husband, oh, can we go? And then he came out whilst I was getting my coat. And he says, where are you going? I said, oh, I'm going home. And the cloakroom was at the top of the stairs. And it was like 2 flights down. And I got myself in such a fluster that my heel got caught in the lace of my own shoe. And I went tumbling down the stairs. So then I had to be picked up off the floor.
By him?
Not by him. Oh. He was upstairs by the bouncer that was on the door downstairs.
Oh, my God.
So as if I didn't feel ashamed enough at what just happened, there's me blaming myself because I shouldn't have worn a backless dress. And now I've got to be picked up by another man on the floor.
Fucking hell.
Took me a whole day. It was horrible.
I'm amazed that you use the word I felt ashamed, because I never felt ashamed. I felt really fucking cross. Like, really cross. Like, who do you think you are? Why would you behave like that? Your wife is, all the wives were delightful people. Like, what's wrong with you? And I told Ollie immediately, like the second it happened. And he always really, like, he would always like laugh and take it really lightly. And I didn't find it funny at all. Not at all. But I never felt ashamed.
Well, I did.
Because I'd done nothing wrong, and neither had you.
But I'm not saying it's rational. I'm just saying that's how I felt about it. I felt really uncomfortable, and he made me feel really embarrassed and humiliated, and it was horrible. Anyway, a couple of days later, I decided, that's when I started to feel really cross.
Yeah.
And I decided to send him a message on Facebook.
Oh,
basically telling him, because I knew I was going to see him at another party.
Yeah.
And I basically said to him, don't you ever do that to me again. It was not okay. And I didn't say it in the moment, but actually now reflecting on it, it was just so against all my boundaries, and I would appreciate it if you don't put your hands anywhere near me ever again.
And did he reply?
Oh, he replied.
What did he say?
He completely denied what happened. Yeah. And then told me, this was the absolute, oh no, then I bumped into him in the gym a week later.
Oh.
And he said to me, just so you know, if I was ever going to put my arse on anyone, if I was ever going to put my hand on anyone's arse, it wouldn't be yours. That's what he said to me. A real gem.
Wow, he sounds real special.
He was awful.
I'm glad he's not my husband.
And then, oh my God, a couple of months later, he did a very similar thing to my best friend.
That's what I'm saying to you. If they're doing it to one woman, they are doing it to
the
lots.
point that her husband, who is the most chilled guy ever, went up to him, pushed him off and said, what the fuck are you doing? And that is so not like him.
Right. So these men they're just generally like this.
But that doesn't make it okay, which is why I then said that to him. That's why I had to send this message, because it didn't sit right with me. I never said anything at the time.
Yeah.
And they have to know. Like, I wouldn't want anyone doing that to my girls.
But these people are friends, these two couples. So what happens to the friendship now?
Well, unfortunately, he's crossed the line. She can't now. She's not safe in his company.
And like, how does she have that conversation with the wife about, listen, I'm sorry, but there'll be no holidays together and we can't go out for dinner anymore? Like, how mortifying for her.
Does he not? That's so stupid. Also,
they are so stupid, these men.
But he's obviously sat there thinking that she's giving him the come on when she has absolutely not done that at all.
I'm not even so sure they think that. I just think they'll give it a go.
But it's dangerous waters.
But the arrogance to think that you're not going to tell the wife. That's what I always came away with. Like, what in your head makes you think I'm not now going to send this message on to your wife or phone her and tell her what you've said and done?
Did you?
No. Because we've had this conversation before.
We have, but not on here.
What goes on in other people's marriages is no one's business. And so I would never insert myself in someone else's marriage. Because you don't know if they've got an open marriage or they know. You don't know.
I wouldn't either. And then I'm thinking, God, my God, if that was me, would I want to know? Well, of course I wouldn't want to know, but I would need to know.
Yeah. But you know what? I think in many cases, these wives do know. I think they do know, and they
what
turn
has
a blind
happened to
eye.
the friendship now is, unfortunately, he's ruined it.
Yeah.
Or she has a friendship with her separately, but they can't go out, the four of them.
Yeah, but what? She has a friendship with her separately, and then what? You never discuss. You never say to her, "How's your husband? How's work?" You know what I mean? Like, he's this elephant in the room. And then she's like, oh, let's all go out for dinner. And you can't do that.
Well,
you can't say why.
You either phase it out.
Yeah.
You either approach it with honesty, which I think is a very hard thing to do. Or you say to him, you know what? You tell your wife why we're not hanging out anymore. Because it's not on me, it's on you.
I think I would just phase it out. I would just not be available for the next 5.
But then that's such a shame for the wife, because then she doesn't know, and then she's probably going to self-internalise that she's done something wrong.
Well, if she asked me, I would say, please ask your husband why.
Oh. Anyway, he's put her in an impossible position.
He really has. He really has.
What a wanker.
But I would just say to her, don't keep that to yourself. Don't keep that to yourself.
No, tell your husband, because if, like me, you felt humiliated in some way, then I'm here to tell you it's not your fault. And if you feel angry, use that rage, I would say.
Yeah.
Use that rage and channel it somewhere good.
And also, if you are a man listening to this, like, just don't be a dick. Just don't be a dick.
There's no men listening to this.
Don't.
Apart from James, because he's in the other room.
James would never behave like this.
Never behave like that. Let's not put James in the same sentence.
I don't want his name.
James has just stood up.
I don't even want his name in this audio attached to it.
No, we love you, James.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
I am sorry too.
Listener.
Thank you for writing in. If you want to be a part of our Midweek Meltdown, then please, you can email us hello@theselfcareclub.co.uk, and we'll be back next Wednesday with another one. But before that, we're back on Friday with a weekly wellness roundup show, and we're going to be back the following Monday with a brand new main show.
We're back again.
We're back, and if that's not enough, you can find us on TikTok, you can find us on Instagram,
You can find us on Facebook.
you can find us everywhere. You can find us in Waterstones. Like, we are everywhere now.
We're on Amazon. We're on YouTube.
Everywhere.
We are omnipresent.
We really are.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening, and we'll be back on Friday.
Bye-bye.